Kristen Watts.
And Kristen, what do you do?
I am the market leader and senior vice president of Fulton Bank here in the Lebanon Valley Division, and I lead our commercial banking team.
How long have you worked for Fulton Bank?
I am in my 27th year with Fulton.
Was it always Fulton, or were you there when it was Lebanon Valley National?
I was there at Lebanon Valley National Bank. I started in 1989, right out of college, and was part of their management training program.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your family.
I am married. My husband, Gary, also is a Fulton banker, and he works in Lancaster on their commercial banking team. And I have a son, Andrew, who's 22 years old, and I have two stepchildren. Emily Adams, who was recently married, and she lives outside of Philadelphia, and Eric Watts, who works for ESPN, and he lives up in Bristol, Connecticut.
That's fantastic. Tell me about what your duties are in your job.
My responsibilities on a day-to-day basis are really with the commercial banking team. We go out and promote, obviously, new loans, deposits, and partner services to the businesses in the Lebanon Valley. And we focus on businesses that have anywhere from $1 million in sales to over $100 million in sales.
That's a pretty big bank to do that.
Yeah, and in addition to that, I have responsibilities locally as the market leader, so I take care of some other regulatory and compliance responsibilities and reporting for the bank, but also to be the face of the bank in the community in addition to the rest of my team members.
And Fulton Bank seems to have a presence in the farming community as well.
We do. We are actually very proud of our agricultural heritage. We are the largest agricultural bank in Pennsylvania and one of the largest across the country. So we do. Lebanon is rich with production farming, so a lot of ag, dairy. But we're also seeing a kind of a rise in a lot more broiler houses because of some of the chicken production that also goes on in the county. So we are very proud to be part of the ag fabric of Lebanon.
Now, outside of your job, it seems like such a leap, but yet such a commendable leap. Tell me about your work with intellectual disabilities and how that ties in different parts, and what motivated you to start doing this?
Great question. My son, Andrew, who I spoke of earlier, has an inherited form of intellectual disability called Fragile X syndrome. And so I became connected to developmental and disability services when Andrew was probably 15 months old when he was diagnosed, and they provided speech, occupational, physical therapy, as well as then preschool services. At that point, at the point at which he was 5, he transitioned then into the public school system, and after graduation, he will and has returned to DDS and will be part of their adult programming. So I have been involved in them because it's very personal to me, but it's also exciting and rewarding to see all the other families in the community to be able to benefit from the organization, because not many counties are blessed to have an agency like DDS.
I agree. And you also tied somehow this into agriculture.
Yes, we're working on a program to try to expose adults with intellectual disabilities and connect that with a farm program, because as we all know, if you work in growing fruits and vegetables, it's therapeutic, but also being around farm animals is very therapeutic. So we think the combination of those two things working together would be a great opportunity for our adult population to be able to enjoy agriculture, or whether they end up wanting to work or volunteer or just do some things at home on their own. Doesn't matter, but we just think it's an experiential form of learning for them.
That's so special. Thank you for doing
you.
that. I also see that you're on the Foundation Board of Directors for WellSpan Good Samaritan Hospital. Talk about that.
It's a newly formed board, of course, after WellSpan and Good Samaritan merged. They formed a new foundation board, so we're not there to make decisions about the hospital itself per se, but they're really more to help direct and facilitate the fundraising and special projects that the hospital will have going forward. As you know, they just finished and opened the WellSpan Good Samaritan Secular Family Cancer Center. And so that was an exciting endeavor for the hospital and for the community now to benefit from. So we're looking forward to future opportunities to help give back to the community.
Okay. And I'm a liaison for the county commissioners to the United Way Board, and I see you there as well. Talk about the United Way a little bit.
Yes, I was invited to join the United Way Board probably a year or two ago. I had early in my career been part of the United Way, kind of feet on the street, helping to deliver donor packets to businesses, and I even went out and spoke about my son's disability at that time and the services that he was receiving through developmental disability services. So I've always had a connection to the United Way, but I was proud to have been asked to represent them in more of a leadership role at this stage of my life.
That's really cool. And I just want to close with asking you, what would you like people to know, something that I haven't asked, or something that you have at the core that you believe in, something that you'd like to share with the people, the young women following your footsteps, whatever?
I think one of the things that I try to tell the women that I work with or that I volunteer with out in the community when they talk about my career and the path that I took, I say to them, banking is still a field at the top that's dominated by men. But many industries are that way still today. And I think it's important for them to find a female mentor who, in their eyes, have been successful in both their career, but also in trying to balance your career with your home life. And that's something that I continue to work at myself. It is not an easy thing to do. But I've learned you don't have to do it all. There is support with family, with your employer, and with the community. But I think you need to find a mentor and someone that you can use as your own guidepost as you're trying to make decisions. But I think the most important thing is women have to understand that they provide a tremendous amount of value, and they need to learn to be self-promoters of themselves, and they deserve a seat at the table, and they shouldn't be bashful about asking for it and taking it.